Welcome to the Home and Finance Show, and thank you for tuning in on Channel 40 WHMB. We are your hosts. I'm Janice Bradley with JB Real Estate Consultants and my co-host,
Diana Rice Wilkerson, loan originator with Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Home and Finance is your safe connection to your real estate and home financing needs. This show is designed to provide you with the current and credible information about the home buying process. While the first step and easiest way to build wealth for most, we recognize that home buying is a huge commitment and that you may not be familiar with all that is involved. From time to time, we love to have questions, or we love to have guests on our show to help educate the community with what is happening in the real estate industry. Today, we have the esteemed Myra Leonard, our esteemed appraiser, to help explain appraising. Good morning, Myra. I couldn't get it out. Good morning, Myra. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Janice. I am doing very well, and I thank you and Diane both for having me on.
Well, those of you who know that we do the Home and Finance Show also on Saturdays on radio from 1 to 2. You know, you probably have heard Myra before because we like to bring her back as often as we can, because with this crazy everything that's going on, things change every single day, but she's always on top of it. Hey, Myra, do us a favor. Would you mind sharing your credentials and give a description of what an appraiser does?
Okay, very good. My credential is as a certified general appraiser, and that allows me to appraise both residential and commercial properties, both from simple to complex. So whether it's a single family, multifamily, whether it's an office or apartment, we do all that with that credential. And basically, we are real estate professionals who provide, I like to say, well-supported, objective, unbiased opinions of value.
Ooh, say that again. That was a big statement.
Well, in this market, we normally, through the Appraisal Foundation, and USPAP standards, we say supported. But in this market that we're in, we definitely have added the well-supported. So as real estate professionals, we provide well-supported, objective, unbiased opinions of value.
So do us a favor. What would you say has been the biggest difference that you have seen in the last 3 years, and how has that affected the market today, the market values?
Well, as you know, it is definitely a seller's market. We thought that we would get a little breather along the way, but it has just continued to tick upwards. And one of the things that we saw about 3 years ago was we had the entrance of multiple offers on a property that was just listed. And sad to say, at that time, we had a lot of value issues. In other words, someone would accept an offer that may even be more than what the property was listed for. And back then, on a routine basis, sad to say that the market had not caught up with what was happening, and we could not support those values. So a person may offer, one amount, and the appraised value may turn out to be 10% less, 15% less, and sometimes much more than that. But what I have seen over the last 3 years is the market stabilizing, and then the appreciation, stabilizing, and then the appreciation. So we've gone through several renditions of that over the last 3 years. And now, especially with real estate professionals such as yourselves that already know the market, those times of actually experiencing less value than what has been accepted is less and less from a purchase standpoint. It still happens, but not nearly at the level that it was happening 3 years ago.
A question, Myra, talk to us about the value of an appraisal report for someone who is not going through the process. So I'm a homeowner, let's say, and I bought my house 15 years ago. I've been paying my mortgage payment. I don't have any intentions of moving. should I get an appraisal? How do I know what the value of my property is? How should I keep up with that? Especially if you're telling me, property values are increasing. I certainly want to keep up with that and don't want to fall victim to one of those postcards in the mail that says we pay cash, and someone show up and offer me money I've never seen before, take it, and possibly I've shortchanged myself. So there were kind of a lot of questions in there.
No, that's a very good question. And I kind of liken our profession somewhere in terms of the consumer making sure that they lock down all of the nuances of what they own, from personal property to real estate for that matter. And so as it is with having to have your home insured, your valuables insured, that has to continually be looked at. So on a regular basis, whatever that period of time is for insuring your values because of increases or changes in the industry with whatever that is, precious metals, we know all of these things, rugs, just whatever kind of values they are. So it is with real estate. As a matter of fact, I just had a conversation with an attorney not too long ago this morning, and telling me that they had an appraisal for at 2018, and I said, well, that was good for 2018, but this is 2020, and more importantly, within 2020, this is the 10th month. And so for real estate, we have marketing periods. Fannie Mae has traditionally said that our marketing periods are 6 months. Used to be 12 months, you could go in and consider that value pretty much being on target, plus or minus 1% or so. But that's been truncated to 6 months. Of course, anything that we do for FHA and VA, they're looking to stay at least that point or a little bit under. I have seen values change, and depending on the actual market, the sub-market, we need to look again after 3 months because of market activity.
Mhm.
So, I would say, I know I'm taking a little longer to answer that question, but just as you would do with insurance, protecting your values, you certainly want to protect the most important asset that most people have in a lifetime, and that's your real estate. So, I would say as a general rule of thumb, you probably should have a baseline appraisal done, and then subsequent to that, if there is regular market activity, having a real estate broker such as yourself, Janice, to do a CMA, and if there's a lot of volatility, including updates or improvements that they've made, if that actually takes place, then I would appraisal, just so you would know what the value is, depending on whatever you want. You may want to use it to, help your kids or grandkids, in college. You may want to help someone purchase their home. I know our kids are at the age now, they want their own homes. So mom and dad or grandma or auntie can pull that value out of their home because they know what that value is. I hope that helps.
It's great. You mentioned something that I'm so glad that you did mention, is that's upgrades. So please just take a minute. And what would you say would be the biggest effect on values as far as upgrades? What if someone is thinking about putting their house on the market within the next 2 to 3 years, or whatever kind of a time frame? What are you seeing today that's bringing the most value as far as upgrades?
Okay, I'm going to sneak one thing in. I think you guys already know the answer, but I'm going to say something that sometimes gets off the radar and people don't realize how important it is, and that's landscaping. Landscaping is tremendously important. That is the appraiser's first snapshot.
Wow.
To what that home has to offer. And it's just amazing. A picture says a thousand things. So I would say that depending on what time of year it is, if it's summer, of course, making sure that the lawn is cut, some flowers out, things dusted off so we get good pictures. If it's in the fall, rake the leaves and, just make things inviting. Just like you would want to show your home off to a prospective buyer, you kind of have to look at the appraiser as someone that's eagerly awaiting to see what that home is all about. So I would say that that is really important. And then also the other things that go along with the street scene. So, making sure that everything is neat and tidy, and then coming into the home that things are clean. We're speaking wanting to get the most value. Just a clean, tidy home is super important. When we talk about upgrades, of course, kitchens and bathrooms are of the utmost importance. They actually have, we see, depending on what type of improvement is made, we're talking above dollar for dollar. So, I would say that they should really spend time with a professional such as yourself, Janice, to say what's happening in the marketplace. Of course, we know solid surfaces. People think, oh, I can't afford it. But, there are so many different solid surface countertops that are not nearly as expensive as the high ends, but yet you still get in that category of solid surface. Making things bright, a good coat of paint goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that, of course, the kitchens are of paramount importance.
Sure.
Same way with, the bathroom. Just changing out a commode is huge. It really is important. And I would say that in today's market, of course, we are looking at just wanting to stay at that market-ready position as to what a normal consumer would be looking for. It's bright, cheery. We're talking solid surfaces. We're talking quality laminates. The carpeting is, a little bit more passé than before. People have allergies. People are concerned about breathing. Not to mention aesthetically, it allows you as a homeowner to, keep it up and make it look fresh on a continual basis. So those things are very important. The things that you can do with accents are super important too. I mentioned the painting. There's no problem with custom colors. A lot of times people will pick accent walls and the like. But those are very important. If you have a basement, just having one is great. If you have a basement, spend a little extra money to make sure that it's dried. And that enables a person to really see, if it's not finished, to see what they can do with it as well.
Okay, you mentioned carpet, okay, and of course a lot of people are saying allergies and so on and so forth. But what I'm finding, and I'm sure you are because you're appraising the homes, carpet is going away. These laminated flooring, it's just a wow. It seems to be a wow. I even know, even with my own home, I know I installed new carpet. I should have done flooring, laminated flooring. I'm just saying that, really noticing the difference. And I believe it's the colors, like you said, it's bright, it's light, and it's just so inviting. And I don't care what price house we're looking at, you're seeing 150 and possibly lower, these type of upgrades, with that flooring.
But then that comes with a dust mop also.
A dust mop.
Yes,
that's after
flooring.
That's after the fact. That's after the fact. But again, this is so helpful for everyone. Question before I go on?
I'd like to talk about bedroom count because
Okay.
lately it seems like for some of the appraisal reports we're getting back, we've got clients disputing the bedrooms. Mm-hmm. They count rooms that are bedrooms that the appraiser may or may not be counting as a bedroom. And so do you run into that sometimes, Myra? And what is that coming from? And what defines a bedroom? Because we've heard all kinds of things.
Right.
Like you have to have a closet, you have to have a window, have to have a door. So can you share a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think there is a lot of, I guess, wiggle room depending on what market you're in.
Okay.
It really does make a difference. I've been doing a lot of appraising on the East Coast, and any little spot that you can have as a company is
Makes
so it's
Yeah.
it's really market driven, but I would say, looking at ANSI standards, looking at things that really define what would be allowable even from a HUD standpoint is ingress and egress. You have to have a window. You have to be able to get in and get out in case of a fire, any type of emergency. We in this area would like to have a closet that you can actually, have that particular space for your belongings, and of course, a door for separation. So those are pretty standard. Now, I would like to say that in this pandemic period, we've had a lot of families that have had to have their homes rearranged for offices.
Yeah.
So functionality really plays the key. Typically, I used to actually make adjustments, and depending on how many bedrooms there are, whatever the market is really looking for, I would make adjustments. But I've pulled back from making adjustments on bedroom counts simply because there are other functions to a home. Now, if you have 2 bedrooms, you definitely want to have them functioning as a 2-bedroom. I would say that would be where the standard is. Not unless you're in a condo. A condo, we appraise them all the time for a 1-bedroom, and that is that's pretty standard. There will be an adjustment for a 2nd bedroom. Once you get to 3 bedrooms, that 4th bedroom is not nearly as important as that 2nd bedroom or that 3rd bedroom. So I would think that we probably want to look more at the square footage of the home and functionality. So a home should be functional. You should not go from one room to another and call both of them bedrooms. So the functionality does have to be there. And as I'm saying this, know that everything is market driven, even adjustments. The dollar adjustment that I would give for bedroom, the dollar adjustment that I would give for square footage. We do paired sales periodically to find out just what that is from market to market.
Question about some of the hot communities here in Marion County. Can you kind of share with the viewers some of the what's going on in some of the areas around the city, especially those areas where you see a lot of gentrification, and what that means in terms of values for people who are living in those areas?
Wow, I would say Indianapolis is hot.
Yeah.
It's, I'm telling you, we are in such a great place. When you look at the Midwest, Indianapolis is just, poised for greatness in terms of value increases, because we have started out we're just an affordable place, and that's
Nice.
we have so many people that corporations that are relocating here, the service industries. I mean, you just tech, warehousing. I mean, it's just amazing how good our market is at large. More specifically, the submarkets. Of course, we've talked about Center Township. That continues to be the case. Now it's a matter of, can you get in low enough to
Right.
something happen?
Absolutely.
But the surrounding areas, you always want to look at the central business district and mushroom out from there. We have such a dynamic business district, the warehouse district, the restaurants. We have all of that situated for our community. So I'm seeing an uptick going, of course, we know going east, that has picked up quite a bit in times past from the downtown area. But now we see moving more toward Wayne Township, the Eskers going past, the Lilly, complex, moving Kentucky Avenue, Tibbs, So we're seeing a lot of good activity, and of course, my mantra is that if you've got a home, that's that 3 to 5 miles outside of the central business district, you really, really want to hunker down,
Hang on,
hang on,
hang on.
advantage of the things that are available to you, because when you're in a heterogeneous neighborhood, such as what we're talking about, you definitely want to consider home improvements.
Mhm.
There is so much money that is left on the table, quite honestly, with not improving your home.
Wow.
So much available to us with citywide programs for a homeowner living in place to take advantage of, so they can experience and enjoy their own beautification.
I see.
It is so infectious. It's amazing when a homeowner says, hey, you know what? I'm going to hunker down. I'm on one level. I'm just going to stay here, age in place.
Mm-hmm.
Then the neighbor says, you know what? I think I'm going to do that too. We get that third neighbor that does that. Guess what happens? The whole complexion changes.
Yes.
Appraiser, now I have got a great thing that will enable me to use that for neighboring homes,
I see.
community, and in other competing neighborhoods. It doesn't necessarily even have to be your particular neighborhood, but if we see things picking up, I can say, hey, this neighborhood is similar to that neighborhood. It's just a little bit earlier in that stage. And Fannie Mae guidelines certainly gives that appraiser the opportunity to make those judgment calls.
Okay, Myra, I have a question because this just blows my mind. And the fact that we have, of course, we understand that this is a seller's market. Can you share why having multiple offers that we now have, how that has a place with how you're appraising the property? I'm not sure I completely understand it, but I know that's what they're asking now, and they are finding out you could have 5, 6, 7, 8 multiple offers, and of course, you're probably seeing homes where we're offering $10,000 or more, on the homes, and they seem to be appraising. Could you share why the multiple offers are affected by how you appraise?
Sure, that's a good question. Well, as you ladies know, that appraisers don't set the market. A good appraiser is taking the temperature of the market.
Okay.
So you as a real estate broker, you're the professional out there. You're the boots on the ground. You see exactly what's happening, house by house, neighborhood by neighborhood. So when we see multiple offers, I may have gone in, I've done maybe the research ahead of time, which we try and garner all that information. And then we get a call or we get an email that says, hey, you know what? We've gotten 3 offers and the house has just been listed for 5 or 10 days. So from an appraisal standpoint, I may have gone in just from a historic standpoint and said, oh, it looks like it's $100,000 market. Now, these offers are all coming in at 110 and 115.
Correct.
Me as an appraiser, I'm saying, did I miss something? And oftentimes we as appraisers, we have to take a second look because, again, we have to interpret what's happening in the marketplace. So having that additional piece of information that a professional such as yourself, 7 of them or 5 of them or 3 of them have turned in offers that may be above what the list price is, I'm going back to the drawing board as an appraiser.
Wow.
Let me see what's happening here. So
Okay.
the active market, then I look at the pending market. And so invariably, when I see that, I will always include a comp 4 or comp 5, maybe even 6 comps. And most likely, 2 of those extra comps are going to be pending sales or an active sale. Because what I'm doing, I'm painting a picture for the underwriter to let them know historically, this is where we have been, but this is where we're going.
We are now.
Pretty much what you see in appraisals that we do for relocation. We always have to forecast a market. So In this kind of market where we see multiple offers, I apply that same principle to it. Not as involved, but pretty much the same principle. So that's a very good indicator that the appraiser needs to take another look. Might I just change the subject just a little bit, but because you asked that question, I want to share something with the audience, because when these things happen, it would be considered maybe initially atypical or something outside the market. Fannie Mae just released, along with the Appraisal Foundation, things that are happening in some markets where minority homeowners and even purchasers feel that they have not actually gotten a fair, unbiased value. And in the minority community, especially as we're trying to see all segments of the population increase in home ownership, but especially the underutilized and underserved markets, such as the Black and Brown communities, we want to make sure that we have a full, unbiased, objective opinion to value. And if that is not the case, and a homeowner feels somehow that the appraiser maybe didn't take in consideration the things that are in their home that had been pointed out or should have been very apparent, then I would suggest that they contact the lending institution or whomever ordered that appraisal for reconsideration, and be prepared to point out those things that are happening in the neighborhood, the things that they've done in their homes. This is really a big issue because Congress is now, as a housing subcommittee, taking this very issue up. And I'm not sure how often you're seeing it, but it is certainly on the landscape. So I just wanted
real quick, we're going to have to kind of wind up now real quickly. But what I would like you to do, if you quickly give out your number as an appraiser so people can reach you.
Sure. My number is 317-257-0357. Again, Myra Lillard, Home Guide Realty Services, 317-257-0357.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Myra. And thank you for joining us today on the Home and Finance Show, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Has it been a nightmare trying to buy, build, sell, or refinance a home? Then wake up to the Real Estate Dream Team of Janice Bradley and Diana Rice Wilkerson. This dynamic duo provides you with up-to-date, honest information, credit counseling, financing options, and more. Don't listen to haters who say, you can't own your own home. Yes, you can. With Janice and Diana, call now and listen for them on the Home and Finance Show, Saturdays, 1 p.m. on WTLC AM 1310 The Light.